A lot of you guys now know that in the last few days I've started learning a new sport, Olympic weightlifting. This is something that I've never tried to learn. Over the years I've watched many of these lifts by lifters from all over the world, really, all over the place. You know, Olympic weightlifting has, at least in my eyes, become much more popular in the last 10 years. It was probably even more popular before, but I don't know, it's, you know how it is, man. Like when you grow up playing a certain sport, you get exposure to that, you think about that, your friends think about that, you don't really get exposure anywhere else. It was only until I started kind of transitioning from basketball into the gym that I started looking at different, I guess, genres of gym, you know, strongman, powerlifting, Olympic weightlifting, bodybuilding, CrossFit then blew up, all of these things. But, you know, I'm learning a completely different thing, and a lot of me is feeling very uncomfortable with this. You know, to me, you know, I see Clarence Kenny, I see Klokov, and then I see myself on the screen, and I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like, I am completely awkward, uncoordinated, just don't know anything about anything. I'm a complete amateur. And it's a tough thing to kind of, you know, take that. It's a tough pill to swallow. You know, when you get comfortable in a certain thing, to take yourself out of that situation, put yourself in a completely different genre and try to learn that. It takes a little something. It takes a bit of mentality. It takes a bit of heart to do that. A lot of you guys have been, you know, directing me in the right direction, giving your opinions and sending me links of other things that I can learn and whatnot. And a few of you guys have mentioned coaching. Now, coaching obviously is probably the smartest way to go about it. To, you know, get the most accelerated gains, you know, to limit time wastage and whatnot. And even though that is probably the correct thing to do, I kind of don't like that idea. The reason why I say that is because I feel like there's no rush for it, right? Like, I'm not going to go to the Olympics. There's nothing here for me, like in terms of whether I get good at Olympic weightlifting or not, nothing changes. Nothing changes. And so for me to go invest my money into a coach to get better at Olympic weightlifting kind of defeats the purpose. And it kind of defeats the purpose of the whole thing that I'm doing with this whole barbell thing. You know, I started squatting not because I wanted to break records or whatever. It's because I got fascinated by it. I saw some people do some wonderful things with it. And I thought, I want to learn that as well. You know, kind of like when I first started playing basketball. I was 10 years old, 9 years old. I saw my brother playing 3-on-3 basketball in the park one day. And, you know, I thought it was fun, you know, and I always looked up to my brother. I always wanted to fit in. I always wished I was a little bit older so I can play with him. And that kind of sparked the whole thing for me. I wanted to learn. And so they're playing 3-on-3. I get another basketball on the side and I start dribbling, you know, trying to put it between my legs. It's going off my shins. I'm making mistakes. You know, I'm not good enough. And I would always kind of say to them, oh, you know, can I play? Can I play? And they always say, look, you're 4 years younger. You know, like, you're too little for us. And you're not really that good either. Like, just keep practicing. That's kind of what this is, man. Like, I worked it out. You know, I eventually worked it out. I kept shooting. I kept dribbling. Kept spending time with that damn basketball. And eventually it started making a little bit more sense. I started to put the ball through my legs, you know, in first try. I started laying up properly. I kept watching my brother shoot and do layups and do left-hand layups and shoot, you know, hand in the cookie jar, follow through. Like, I kept learning different things and I just kept getting exposure. And that's how I want to approach this as well. You know, I go to the gym, I pick the barbell up and I try to mimic my idols, the people that I look up to when it comes to this. You know, Klokov, Lou, Clarence Kennedy. These are some of the most, you know, forward people in my mind when it comes to this stuff. You know, I didn't get coaching in the first couple of years in basketball. It was only when I excelled with playing around with the basketball that my dad was like, oh, you're showing a lot of interest. You've shown that you can and you want to spend a lot of time with the basketball and you're getting a lot better than the rest of the kids, meaning you want to do this. And so then he was like, okay, I'm going to pay for a club. And he took me. And I fit in right in because over there was a lot of other kids who also love to do this stuff. And so it's like, you know, I've used this analogy before. And it's probably just my own way of looking at things, and it's probably incorrect, but this is how I look at it. I never wanted to be that guy that, you know, sees a thing on social media or, you know, gets exposed whichever way, you know, way possible, gets excited, you know, let's say it's Olympic weightlifting, goes out, buys a $5,000 barbell and like $10,000 worth of plates, all top-notch calibrated plates on day one, and you can't even squat. I never wanted to be that. I always thought, buy the cheapest shit possible out there, because that's what amateurs deserve. Because who knows, in 2-3 weeks time, you might not want to do this anymore, and now you've just blown a lot of this money. Start slow. Like, I always felt like every skill level has a different set of, you know, standard of equipment, right? I always felt awkward, you know, to drive a Ferrari with my L plates. I didn't want to have top-notch gear when I first started. I wanted to be able to like develop some skill just with the basics, man, just basic stuff, and then get coaching. You know, that's just my opinion. You know, for me to go grab a coach after 4 days of trying Olympic weightlifting, I feel like it's too early. And I understand a lot of you people are saying, a lot of you guys are saying you don't want to learn bad habits. And that's true. And it takes 2-3 times more time to reverse bad habits than it is to just teach somebody from get-go. But for me, it's kind of like, let me spend some time with it, you know, because when I started playing basketball, I didn't go, oh, this is really cool, I want to play with my brother, let me just join up a quick club and learn the game. Football, when I was back in Yugoslavia, man, like, there was no coaching, man. We just played on the streets for hours and hours upon end. We would leave after breakfast during the holidays, and we would come back home for dinner, and then we'd go to bed and repeat that just the whole freaking holidays. That's what we did. You go outside, or everyone else is out of their houses or out of the building, you know, apartments. We put 4 bricks on the road and we'd play just 16 hours a day. I can't even explain what sort of culture that was where I grew up. Now, I don't know if Europe is the same now or whatever. I'm sure some places are the same, like they used to be, you know, when I was playing soccer. But that was it, man. This is how Ronaldo, Messi's are born. You don't just pick up a, you know, you don't go to a hospital, to a maternity ward and pick up a freaking 1-day-old and it's like, all right, let's start coaching this guy. It doesn't work like that. It's kind of, there's steps, you know, and I almost feel like I'm looking at my son and I'm like, I don't want to expose him to coaching. I want him to play. Just play with the ball. Play, just play. No restrictions, just express yourself with this thing. Because I feel like if you put rigidity over something that wants to explore, that wants to run into the jungle by themselves and explore, I feel like you cramp it up. Just expression, you know, do whatever you want with it. Make mistakes. You have to make mistakes. That's how I view this stuff. I'll give you another example. When I first came to Australia, of course, I went to school, right? It's illegal not to go to school as a freaking 9-year-old. I went to school and I would sit in class and whatever, and teachers saying some stuff on the whiteboard or whatever. This is like English as a second language school, right? You know, they're teaching all these international kids how to speak English. To this day, I believe that I learned most of my English, 95% at least, during the lunch break, during the recess break. I wanted to play handball. The first thing I learned was I saw another guy walk up to the guys that were playing. Can I play? That was the first thing I learned in English. Can I play? Can I play? All right, we got in. That box is called the king. That box is called whatever, queen. I can't remember the other 2 boxes. But then you start learning things. Oh, win, lose, you're out, blah, blah, blah. You know, or you're thirsty, you want to drink. Like, that's how I learned, just playing. You know, it wasn't through a classroom. And so when I think about new skill, new ventures, I always feel like just expose yourself to that. You don't need a whiteboard. You don't need a teacher. You don't need somebody that knows a lot about it. Just do it. Just do it. Because that to me is how you build longevity in the game. You don't want to be studying the thing day one. A lot of you guys are going to disagree. But I don't even know if I'm going to do this long term. And the last thing I want to do is make it seem like I'm going to a class or I don't want to go coaching. One of the things that has kept me going for such a long time is because I'm so left field. I'm a free soul, man. I'll do whatever I want. Today we're at the gym and the cameraman's like, oh, what are you doing next? And I'm like, I don't know. And he started laughing. He's like, what do you mean you don't know? So we did front squats and I think I had like 170 in the bar. Just hit that. And he's like, what are you going to do next? And I'm like, I don't know. He's like, what do you mean? I was just feeling and like getting feedback from my body. Okay, do I do a back down set of 140 or do I just go straight back squats? Or do I even worry about back squats? This was like on the fly. And that freedom makes me happy, man, makes me keep coming back, because it's not like, it's not rigid. It's not, I don't feel like I'm going to school or I'm going to work. It's just, I'm just playing. And I don't think a lot of people allow themselves to just play. Okay. Now, if you are somebody, let's say you've gone through the initial process of play and you want to become an Olympic gold medalist. Okay. So that is a different set of circumstances. If you want to do that, don't listen to what I'm saying. You're not supposed to play. There's a program. You listen to like even Abajevs of the world and all this sort of stuff. You go and do that. But I'm 33. Do you know what I mean? I'm 33. So I don't feel like it is the right thing for me to do now, get a coach. What for? Like, I'm not going to go to the Olympics. I don't want to go to the competition. I just want to learn. Kind of like I learned back squatting. Kind of like I learned front squatting. Kind of like I learned how to hook grip. Kind of like I learned how to deadlift, how to brace. Okay, is it the lats? Is it the upper back? Is it the quads? Is it the glutes? I learned all this stuff by myself. I'm not a physio. All the stuff is out there, man. Like, you literally can just Google whatever you want and some guy will talk to you about it. I don't think Messi got coached into being Messi. Messi just wanted to play with the rest of the kids. Ronaldo just wanted to play with the rest of the kids. And then he made it into a sort of structure when he was excelling on the streets, on the parks or whatever. That's how I look at these things. And for me, the overarching thing for this is it needs to remain a hobby. It needs to remain something I look forward to, not like a classroom. Now, you might be completely different. Like, I'm not hating on school. I'm not hating on work. But why would you want to, like, put a rigid thing on top of something that you just want to have fun with? You know, it's kind of like, it needs to be in the heat of the moment. It needs to be playful. Once again, a lot of you guys might disagree with this. But at 33, man, like why would I rush to get results? You know, the very essence of this whole journey is me exploring. And yes, I make a lot of mistakes. And a lot of you guys have pointed out that you're doing it wrong, you're doing it wrong, you're doing it wrong. It's not that I don't care that I do things wrong, but it's almost like I just want to do stuff that I feel like in my brain is the right thing to do. And then I just kind of learn through my mistakes. That to me is fun. If you ask me, could I do 938 days of small of junior on repeat? I couldn't do that, man. Like, I'm not a machine. I cannot do that. I can't take structure like that. It is very, how should I say this? It is very rewarding. It is very liberating. It's very fun. It's very appealing to me every single day to wake up and be like, okay, what are we doing today? How do we get better today? It's not, let me call the coach right now and be like, coach, what do you reckon? That's half of the fun, man. It's half of the fun. The reason why you play a video game, it's not to just beat the video game. Like, you just put the damn cheats in, or you can just get a step-by-step process, a manual, how to go about doing the game. What's the point, man? The point of a video game is for you to turn that thing on and play. Make mistakes, run for your life, you know, get better, come back. That's what fun is. Like, I don't need a manual for this stuff. I don't want a manual. Of course, there is an optimal way of doing things. Is that fun? Now, a lot of us, you know, a lot of you guys that are listening to this, you're in the same boat as me. You are a hobbyist. You are a guy that wants to have fun. Now, who is allowed to tell you how to have fun? Oh, no, you're doing it all wrong, man. You got to do it this way. Last time I went to shoot around a basketball in the stadium, I never had anybody come up to me and be like, dude, what are you doing, man? You do not train like this. You know? I want to shoot like Kobe, man. But Ivan, you are 5'5" and you're like 14 years old. I want to be Kobe, man. When I'm dribbling around these guys, I'm thinking I'm Kobe. I want to elevate over the top of them. Y'all get blocked because I'm not Kobe. I'm not 6'6". I'm 5'5". But that's what I want to do. That's fun to me. You know? It's one of those things. Like, I don't know if I'm getting this across well enough for you to kind of understand where I'm coming from. Basically, it's like this. I'm 33. What's the rush? What is the rush? Yeah, of course, I can take 40 grand of my money, put it on the mortgage, and just fly out the best freaking weightlifting coach that there is in Asia. Like, man, for the next 6 months, man, I'll pay everything, man. Please stay here. What for? What for? Teach me everything. What for, man? That's what I don't understand. I hear you guys. Some of you guys are saying, get coaching, get coaching. But what for? It's just, who gives a shit if I snatch 130 in 2-3 years time, or I snatch 80? Who gives a shit? No one gives a shit, man. I just want to have fun, document my journey, and bounce ideas off you guys back and forth until the cows come home. Because all of us love the barbell. All of us want to get stronger, and we just want to discuss. And I think that's what this community is. It's not about who's better and who's not. I'll never out squat Klokov or Clarence Kennedy or Lou or Tian Tao or you name it. I'm no one, man. Basically, I'm just somebody who loves to do this. I reckon this is better than sitting on the couch and playing video games. I reckon it's better than going to the pub and having 10 beers every Friday or Saturday. I reckon it's better than walking on the beach. I reckon it's better than many different things. When I have my little few hours every day to myself, this is what I love to do. Come in and just work shit out. Work shit out. And the thing is, the bottom line of all of this is that if you love this enough and you keep coming back enough, even with the suboptimal program, you will get results. You will get better results than somebody who has all the freaking manuals in front of them and only the half of the fun and half of the heart into this. And this is maybe this is the most important point to say. Are you having fun? Because if you're not having fun, that willpower is slowly draining. And eventually you're going to be like, screw that, man. I've had enough of this. And then you're going to walk away. And how many of those people are doing that? How many people in the world are doing that? Literally, gyms, their business model is this. 1 out of 10 people are going to front up and train. The majority of people that get a membership are not even going to rock up weekly. So they are betting against you from even rocking up. That's what the whole thing is, right? And they maybe not they, but the whole fitness community is like, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this. And everyone's just getting like pile drive mentally about all these different things, and eventually the willpower disappears and you leave and you never come back. But they'll go you for another year, right? And they keep taking money away. But if everyone approached, it's like, I want to play. You know, my son went to the park today and he played. I want to go to my park, which is the gym. I want to play as well. Neither he or I are going to be Olympics at the park or at the freaking gym. What's the point, man? What is the point? I keep saying this, you know, over and over again, you know, to a lot of guys that, you know, back and forth talking about all this stuff. It's like, okay, look back. I'm 33 now, 17 years time. I'm 50. Looking back, talking to somebody else who read every manual, blah, 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 still didn't make it to the Olympics. His squat is 260, my squat is 230. He didn't have a lot of fun because he was regimented. He had a coach, invested a lot of money into all this stuff. And I didn't. Call it 220, whatever. Make it even a bigger difference. But which journey is more worth traveling? Do you know what I mean? That's the bottom line to me. And to me, working the shit out by myself is simply more fun. I know Clarence knows better. I know the fellas at Seeker Strength know 10 times more better. Even though I watch them all the time and I listen to them all the time, I don't want them as coaches. I don't want Clarence Kennedy as a coach. I don't even want Klokov or even Abajev as a coach. I just want to be me. And that is basically the way I look at a lot of things. When I go to work, I look at my boss. I'm like, boss, what do you need? When I drive my car on the road, I'm like, Mr. Cop, man, I'm doing 60. Don't worry. I'm being a good boy. Which other area in my life can I just do shit that I want to do? Not a lot. Not a lot of areas at all. Anyway, guys, that's me tonight. That's my... that's what's on my mind today. It was a blast in the gym again today. You know, I had fun. I explored. I'm messing around. I feel like I'm getting a little bit better. Anyway, guys, appreciate everyone on the list, Patreon list, in the comments and Instagram. It's a blessing to have all you guys in this community. Peace out.